VB100811E.wmv. Join the movement. BKS1 Radio.
All right, y'all. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Right, yeah.
All right, y'all. Up next, we have Bill Dukes and Buchanan from the documentary of Black Girls coming
Dark
up.
Girls.
Dark Girls. Excuse me, I said Black Girls.
Let
They
me
are. Yes,
just
go ahead.
give people a little background on it. It's a documentary, and basically what Bill Duke and Chance and Barry have done is taken the cameras to focus on an American cultural bias that also runs deep in cultures around the world. The film features poignant, unfiltered, and penetrating interviews with black women of the darkest hues for their emotional expose. Duke called Barry with this idea for the movie a couple of years ago, and today they've got this documentary, Dark Girls. Now, some people have said that this is a conversation that has happened a lot within the African American community.
Yeah.
And, I'm really interested to see the point of view that this documentary, explores. And we're going to give people a little taste of that right now. So you're about to see a little bit of Dark Girls.
Rise, Dark Girls. I can remember being in the bathtub asking my mom to put bleach in the water so that my skin would be lighter and so that I could escape the feelings that I had about not being as beautiful, as acceptable, as lovable.
If we're all just hanging around and a dark-skinned girl will pass by, they'll be, oh, well, she's pretty for a dark-skinned girl. And I'm like, well, what is that supposed to mean?
I used to wish that I can wake up one day lighter or wash my face and think that it will change. I thought it was dirt and I tried to clean it off, but it wouldn't come off.
Just doing something small as standing in front of the class to do show and tell. I wouldn't look up. I wouldn't make eye contact with anyone. I would hold my toy really tight because I knew my toy loved me, even if they didn't.
Here comes Blackie. Here comes Tar Baby. I remember one in particular, they used to say, "You stayed in the oven too long." And that was really hurtful.
They would do it every single day without let up. On the playground, in the classroom, in the cafeteria, just constantly, you got it. So I didn't really have a high self-esteem.
It was so damaging. It made us feel like we weren't wanted, that we were less than.
My mother and her friend, we were driving somewhere, and she's bragging on me. She said, "My daughter is beautiful. She's got great eyelashes, she's got the cheekbones, she's got great lips." And then she's going on and she adds, could you imagine if she had any lightness in her skin at all? She'd be gorgeous. And just that last little part, just all that pride that I had about her, having her brag on me, just dissipated. Just dissipated. And I think that moment is when I really became aware.
Cinematic.
There you
That's
go.
our audience, studio audience.
We got a caller on that wants to make a comment. Hold on. If I could bring it. Go ahead. Take the call.
All right.
Okay, we got a caller coming up.
Darn it.
Okay.
Mark's producer. There you go. All right. Caller from the 563 station name when you're calling from. You're live in the vocal booth. Caller from the 563. Okay.
They've been riding with us for a minute.
Okay, maybe they just want to listen. Keep it locked. Thank you for tuning in.
Well, I'll tell you the first thing that after seeing that, I would say that obviously there's more conversation to be had about, dark versus light. I know Spike Lee, did it quite well in in his movie
School Days.
School Days.
Yeah. Tyler Perry did that. I mean, you said Spike Lee. My bad.
I just want to say,
I'm just teasing.
How powerful of a statement is that the young lady just said. She had all that pride. Her mom was, bigging her up, giving her all them accolades, and then for that, the last thing she's gonna say is, "Could you imagine if her skin was any lighter?" Like how horrible is that to do to your child? To raise up on that pedestal so high and then chop the legs off at the same time.
Right. And you don't have to. I just have to say that it's great to know that Bill had a lot to do with this, because I remember seeing this months ago. And this was something on Facebook. This is how I actually saw it, because a lot of women put it up on Facebook for people to see. So this is definitely something that people are very much aware of around. And it's a shame, because it's almost like domestic violence. Like, you don't realize how big this really still is right now. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are really still suffering from believing that they are not beautiful because they are so dark.
Well, let me be the first to tell you guys. Y'all see the skin tone, the skin color? Black is beautiful. Black don't break. Black is where it's at. Sorry, all you light-skinned people. Sorry.
Totally different from men.
Why? What's the difference? You got some skin tone suits. You part of the sisterhood.
Men we let you in for the day. You get a guest pass. No, but it's just totally different. Men don't go through what the women have gone through with it, and I've always found that so amazing.
Yes,
let me tell you, I used to have a friend named we called him Fudge. That was his nickname.
Yeah.
Now listen, for a hot minute in the '80s, my man Darryl Watson, he's deceased now.
Yes,
in the '80s, we used to crack on him. We can't see you unless you smile when it's night. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Then along come the Big Daddy Canes and everything, and all of a sudden women started saying, "Wow, I love that. Chocolate is good."
Right.
But before that, we used to ridicule them. When we did snaps and stuff.
But there's, like you said, the blacker the berry, the darker the juice, all that stuff started coming along.
Sweetest.
What did I say? Sorry.
Black.
It's the 1 a.m. thing. What did I say? The blacker the berry, the darker the juice.
That's true.
So we're going to rock with that tonight.
It is true.
Hell no.
What I was trying to say
what is that thing about criticism?
But let's be very real. We never say that about women. We only apply that to the men.
And you know what? That's true. I got to be honest, because I even remember when I was in college, I believe 22 at that time. And I remember I had a girlfriend that was from Ghana. She was very dark, big bang. But anyway, but I remember saying to her one time that, wow, you are so pretty for a dark-skinned girl.
Oh.
Wow.
I definitely did say that to her once. And she said to me, she was like, I don't understand why, because that wasn't the first time she heard that. She said,
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? But for me, and I told her at that time, I wasn't used to being that attracted to women that were really darker. And
so you were brainwashed.
Can I ask a question? And forgive me for being naive. Why is that
being
bad?
What?
Naive.
Oh, I didn't hear the V. I was like, what is that?
Why is that bad? Let me say this. Wait, let me point this out first, then we'll go into it. If I say that you look attractive for a darker skinned woman, or like if you're really dark, and I'll bring that to P. If you're really dark,
I want to answer.
That's like a white person talk. Like we've had a lot of problems saying white. But if the gentleman's white, because I find myself sometimes like, man, I call him white or John, but in reality, he's a white man. He's a white man. So sometimes you feel like a pressure. So why, if someone's darker, really they should embrace that? No.
Okay, let me ask this: who's the perfect woman in your mind, like actress?
Kim Kardashian.
Okay, so Kim Kardashian. All right.
That's why that's why you don't like mac and cheese.
If you saw a girl and you were to say, if you saw a girl and say, you look really pretty to look kind of like Kim Kardashian, like you look really pretty as a Kim Kardashian imposter. Basically, it's saying to her, you're pretty, but you're not as pretty as this one.
Exactly.
You're not as pretty as, and that's basically what it is saying.
But if I say, you're a beautiful, dark, black woman.
Hold a second.
What's the difference?
Let me tell you the difference. The difference is this. You never hear a person say, oh, you're beautiful for a light-skinned woman. Have you ever heard that?
No. He did say, he said different. He did change it, and it made it different. He said, you're a beautiful, dark What did you say? Beautiful dark.
So you're saying,
okay, but you never heard nobody
That's
say you're
empowering
a
what's beautiful
beautiful
about it.
light skin. You don't hear it.
Hey
So,
guys,
Right.
yes,
I want
Susan.
to just hold some of this
Yes.
we have coming on, and this is reality radio.
Yes,
We are
yes.
actually going to dial in to Bill Duke and Chan Berry, and let me tell you, they're on location right now. They just attended the Nashville screening of the documentary Dark Girls.
Shout out for them
And
going
so
to Nashville.
They
Yeah,
couldn't
I'm
be live with
definitely-
us in the studio
yeah.
tonight, but we're going to reach out for them at their hotel. So you get to call in with us. And while we're doing that, many are very familiar with Bill Duke. And, okay.
Yeah, he's one of my
See, this is
favorite.
we call it a hotel.
Can't
The
get no realness.
hotel is sleep.
I'm very interested in hearing what the response was from the crowd in Nashville
It's a busy hotel.
for this movie. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Maybe how busy they gonna be at 1:00 in the morning? Y'all pick up. See, I'm calling management. I'm
Hello.
gonna what? I'm gonna let them know they don't answer their phone.
This is Abdullah. Abdullah,
All right.
you got that room over there, Abdullah.
Hold a sec. See, now I'm getting upset. What if I was a guest? If I was a guest calling the desk right now, I would be very upset. I'm a host that's upset, but I would be upset as a guest.
They're probably off in the back watching www.bks1radio.com.
That could be it.
Okay,
Listen,
pick
if you're
up the phone.
exactly. if
Or
you're
they're
in the back
watching Car Wash.
watching the show. Go
Calling
to
you
the front.
Nashville.
Thanks for calling Los Nashville Vanderbilt. This is Susie. How can I help you?
Hello. Could you please connect me with room 1017?
1017. Absolutely. Just a moment.
Thank you, Susie.
Yeah, everybody know what room he's in.
What the?
Hi, how you doing?
Hello?
Whoa.
Hello.
Hello, it's Mr. Bill Duke.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
How are you? Welcome to BCast Phone Radio. How are you this evening?
God bless you, my friend. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
the pleasure's all ours.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, are we going to pull Mr. Berry in now, Mr. Producer?
He's waiting for your call.
Okay. All right. We're going to pull.
We're gonna pull
him
them in. Also, just hold for
Stand
one
by.
moment, folks. Okay. All right. All right.
Now,
Okay,
one thing,
definitely.
Mr. Duke, while we got you here, and I'm not going to jump into the actual project now that we're gonna wait till our guest gets conference in, but let's talk about your accolades. You're one of my favorite actors and personalities. What was your first stint in Hollywood? Your first role, was it Car Wash as Dwayne? Was that your first stint in the movies?
Yes, I was Abdullah in Car Wash. That was my first major acting role in Hollywood. Abdullah in Car Wash.
I love the character because we was just joking around, and the reason I loved it is because I for my whole life I was imitating not Abdullah, but I loved doing the voice of the guy at the end part. He's like, Abdullah, put that gun down, Abdullah. And
that was Ivan Dixon. That was the great Ivan Dixon.
that was one. Listen,
Actor.
that was one of the most iconic. That was probably one of the first movies, believe it or not, in my lifetime, because I was born in '70, that my mom actually took me to, and we actually had a pride in that movie. I mean, it was like, it meant so much to the black community. Car Wash and all the celebrities at that time, Richard Pryor, various different people. So that was an iconic movie. At the time y'all made this movie, was it? You didn't think of it that way, correct?
Well, no, we didn't. But there was the director who directed that movie is one of my favorite people because he is an icon also. His name was Michael Schultz.
Okay.
And Michael Schultz, in my opinion, did one of the first iconic movies, which was called Cooley High.
Absolutely.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
He was the same director of Cooley High.
Nice.
Wow.
Let me ask
He's
you.
a great man, a great friend of mine. And he was a great man.
Let me ask you. I got to see your website, and it talks a lot about the fact that you not only have you been doing acting for so long, but you've been directing for a very long time, even before Spike Lee was even around. And it did mention a little bit about your movies, but it's interesting because it was something that I didn't see on there. I knew that I remember watching an episode of my favorite show, and I knew it was you, and that was the Boondocks. And I remember seeing you. Yes, I remember seeing, and I was like, I had to double check. I was like, I know this was him. I know it was him, so I had to double check. And being that Chill Miss Keeper, I got to do my little impression when you was on there. He was like, so you pulled up to the house and pulled into the garage at 9:15, right? Yeah, it was 9:15, right? You pulled up to the. So did you pull up at 8:15? Yeah, I think it was about 8:15. You didn't effed up, right?
Yes, I love that.
You talking about Menace to Society?
No, this was the Boondocks.
The Boondocks.
He said that in Menace to Society too. You didn't effed up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so see, it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long time. Oh, okay. So I guess that was just a spoof from the because it's been a long time.
Exactly. It was Boondocks was one of my favorite programs on the air. Aaron McGruder.
Yes.
Yeah, and he did a spoof on that. Society, yes.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Duke, we're still waiting to connect. But while we're doing it, I do not have an impersonation to make. Sorry. I hope you forgive me. I will work on that a little bit more. But JD did bring up the fact that he, saw how much acting you've done as well as directing. So it's a two-part question. Number one, what do you enjoy doing more, acting or directing? And then the second part of the question is, how does one transition? How did you make that transition from actor into directing? How difficult or easy was it?
Yeah, did Barry connect yet?
No, we're setting up the call with him right now.
Okay. Well, for me, I started out in theater as a stage director, and then got into acting stage-wise. Mm-hmm. And then I had a mentor. His name was Lloyd Richard. Lloyd Richard was a great man. He would.
Yes.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that any better now?
Yes, much better.
Thank you.
Better?
Yes. So you were doing some acting. Lloyd Richards was your mentor?
Let me see if I can.
Can you hear us?
I don't know whether that's the
yes, on the hotel.
The hotel phone. That's a tough spot. That's a tough spot.
Are you still there, Mr. Duke?
Mr. Duke, you still there?
Well, I think he's just trying to get his phone together, but also.
I don't know. I think we might have lost him. Yeah, we lost
it.
We lost the call.
Oh, we lost it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So just keep on going with your impersonation.
You got to believe something.
Well, like I said, I can't wait till they come back in. Because I want to know what was the response,
Oh, yes.
For the movie. Actually, what's the response been, around the country? Because, like I said, we've been having this debate for years. I know since I was a child, like Chill said, we've gone through that. You know what I'm saying? It's Tar Baby, you black as night, smile so I can see, all kind of different things. And I don't know why.
I wish my brother was listening because it's really interesting. My brother's dark. He's about the same complexion as you, but my younger brother and I aren't. We're about the same complexion. And we picked on him. We joked. My brother is a jokester, and I've never sat down and really asked him. We all got picked on for something. So I never sat down and really asked him, like, did it bother him? Was it difficult for him? He's a handsome guy, so, he got the ladies. That was never a problem. But I just always wonder if there was a time where it was difficult to deal with.
Can I make one more? I want to get back to that question I asked both of y'all about the fact that someone says you are pretty for a darker person.
Yeah.
Now, they're making that assumption amongst black people. I think that's why I'm getting it confused, because you are darker in the scale of black people overall, and that's the way I look at it when someone says for a darker person. That means when you're like, because the scale of black goes from light to the darkest.
Yes.
So for that aspect of the scale,
no,
I think if you're attractive, maybe somebody don't. I don't know. I understand where y'all coming from with that, but I don't know.
Do you say
that's the city? How can I help you?
Yes.
Can I have 10, 17 teams?
Yes, just a moment, please.
Thank you.
All right, at the conference, this is Mr.
All right. Do we have the Sherry line right now?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Barry?
Hello? Mr. Barry?
Hello, yes.
Okay, I think we got both.
I think we have both. Do we have Bill and Chan on the line right now?
Yeah, this is Chan.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome to the show, Chan. How are you?
Yes.
And Bill, do we have you back also?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Hey guys, I'm here.
All right. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you. We want to welcome to BCast from Radio. And
Can you hear me pretty good?
Now, Bill, your phone is going in
You're
and
still
out.
going
We
in
got
and out a little
Chan in beautifully, so I don't know.
Do me a favor. Call me back one more time. I'll make sure that I'll pick up another line. Okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Try one more time.
All right. All right. But till we get that connected, we have Chan. But how are you this evening?
Listen, I'm to be talking to folks in Jersey.
Yes.
Now I'm talking to some people that got some sense.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
I guess that kind of answers the question that I wanted to know is how was the documentary perceived out there?
Man, it was overwhelming.
Really?
Great.
Overwhelming. You know, it was probably about 700 to 800 people.
Okay. Okay.
In this spot, and they couldn't really fit any more in because of the fire marshal.
Wow. Great.
This is our second stop with the film, and from the time the film premiered in Toronto a couple of weeks ago, from 2,000 people in 3 screenings at 3 different venues in Toronto, it's been packed houses. And tonight was the same thing here in Nashville, Tennessee.
That's a beautiful thing.
That is
It's overwhelming, man. It's overwhelming.
Congratulations. Are you guys going to make it to New York or Plainfield, New Jersey?
Actually, I'm coming to Front Street.
Oh,
nice.
That's
Wow.
where I
He said
live.
come to
That's
Front
where I
Street.
live.
Okay. I like that.
I didn't know we were having it at my house.
No, that's home for me. I grew up in East Orange in Newark.
Oh, that's what's up.
That's
Interesting
what's up.
tidbit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I grew up in East Orange on Chestnut Street, and grew up in Newark on South 12th Street.
Wow.
Nice.
And spent most of my time in East Orange High School, then moved to Maplewood to go to Columbia High School, and went to Rutgers.
Wow.
Very
Okay.
nice.
All right.
Nice.
Rutgers alumni. Now let me ask you this question, which I pretty much could probably figure it out already. Look at the pictures. What made you do this documentary? What was the meat and the guts behind it?
You know what, man? It started with Bill.
Okay.
It started with Bill, and Bill called me up one day in L.A. He was on the car, and I was at home, and he said, "Listen, man, I got an idea." And after the first sentence, I said, "I'm in."
Mm-hmm.
In, because I understood. I mean, when you got 2 brothers who happened to be 2 dark-skinned, who were little dark-skinned boys who were called names by friends and talked about, we understood from an emotional level what that meant and what kind of scarring it put on us as men. So from an emotional standpoint, we understood, and just to take it to females was just another level.
Now, Chan, may I call you Chan?
Of course.
We were just talking when we were having some trouble connecting you guys, and so we were still talking about the topic. Like you said, he called you up, he said one sentence, and it had you hooked because of your own experience. So my question is, why was the focus on dark girls and not dark men or dark people?
Because women is where life begins.
Nice.
Like that.
Nice.
And might as well start at the beginning.
Okay. Because I was discussing with the guys, I said, for me personally, I feel like it's a big difference between dark-skinned men, what dark-skinned men deal with versus dark-skinned women. And I feel like dark-skinned men don't deal with it as difficult as the women do. So that's why I was wondering if that played a part in it as well.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this. Pain is pain.
Exactly.
Pain is pain. Regardless of when it comes or how it comes, how scarred you are, pain is pain. We don't deal with it as much as women do the right, because it's a constant thing with women.
Mm-hmm.
Because as every time how can I say this? Every season when fashion changes, the looks change, and the carrot that's being dangled in front of your face that keeps you moving, paying into something that you'll never ever achieve or even look like.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that sisters are going to look like those women on the magazine.
True.
But you bought into that by makeup, hair, body, clothing, color.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the deep thing about it that Bill and I have found out is that it's just not about sisters. When you look at it, really, all women are dark girls at some point in life. Because what it comes down to, it comes down to self-esteem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The lack of self-esteem.
Okay, you are currently on bcast1radio.com live in the vocal booth.
Yes.
We are currently talking to Mr. Chanson Berry, who directed and produced with Mr. Bill Duke a film called Dark Girls. Which it will be, it was set in Toronto, and currently you guys, what would you call this? This is sort of like a promotional to get it out there. Are you guys going to go, like straight out with everything? Are you going to come across the nation with it, or because I think a film of this stature definitely will win an award in these film festivals and things of that nature. I love documentaries, and I'm looking forward to trying to see it. When you guys came up with this concept, and this, I find this interesting too. It covers black women as a whole, and I was just asking, these are women, real life situations and things of that nature. Will it reveal the problems that these women have? How did you guys broadcast this across for the whole black women to feel, so to speak?
Is Bill on the line?
We're calling them up.
Yeah,
right,
I'm trying.
Right
yeah,
now,
we're calling them
actually.
now.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
We were getting bad connections with them.
Oh, so you want me to answer before you get?
Yeah, go ahead, and we'll bring it back to. Matter of fact, we'll wait for Bill. Yeah, we'll wait 1 minute.
He could answer that one too.
Because I'm very curious.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, I have a question.
Hold on, because the woman's going to pick up.
Okay.
bcast1radio.com live in the vocal booth.
Hopefully she'll pick up.
Oh yeah, this was the.
Excuse me, guys, but I'm having a late night dinner while I'm talking.
No problem. We're not going to interrupt you eating.
Just please don't suck your teeth on live air, Mr. Berry. Please.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Berry. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right.
Well, I tell you, they don't answer phones in Tennessee.
Thanks for calling us, Vanderbilt. This is Susie. How can I help you?
May I have room 1002, please?
Oh, yeah. No, that's 1002. That's me.
I'm sorry. Oh, 1017, please.
1017.
217.
Okay.
1017.
And whose room is this?
Bill Duke.
All right. Just a moment, please.
Thank you.
17.
She's on live.
She's a star and doesn't even
Watch
know.
this, guys. Watch. Hello? Bill? Yeah. This is me, Bill. Oh, God. he has serious issues, you all.
Welcome back.
All right,
we got it
Now
together.
we have them both right now.
Phone lines.
Bill Duke
everything.
and Chan Berry.
Here.
All right, bcast1radio.com live in the vocal booth.
Funny.
We are currently talking with the directors and producers of movie Dark Girls, Mr. Bill Duke and Mr. D. Chanson Berry.
All right.
Now, if we review some things, we finally got both of you guys together, so please feel inclined to just re-answer for all our listeners out there and everything. First things first, the concept of the movie, Bill, will go to you because Mr. Berry answered somewhat a little bit. How'd you come up with the concept of this?
Basically, a couple of things from my childhood, what I've gone through, and I've seen my sister going through, and what I've seen my niece go through, and various women that I've loved in my life and cared for what they've gone through, and the children in my life. And in our community, sometimes there are things that, how can I say, we need to talk about, we never talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give people who have been through this a voice. And media is a very powerful tool, so we wanted to, as filmmakers, enable people to have a voice that have not had a voice.
Interesting. One of the questions I asked, and then I'll pass to the teammates. Basically, this, you probably could have made this as a film. I mean, you know, screening actors, things of that nature, but you guys chose documentary form. Talk about why.
Well, documentaries, I think, are an underrated form of filmmaking. There is a narrative, but the narrative is the truth, it's the reality. It's not fictionalized. It's actually narrative based on human experience, direct people's human experience, not actors' human experience, but the experience of actual people who have undergone the conditions that you're describing. So, there's nothing wrong with, fictional films. Documentaries are fascinating because you're dealing with the real people. And
Absolutely.
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to have testimonials from real people who have gone through this real situation.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to make a statement, and I'd like to hear both of your opinions on the statement I'm about to make, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so this is my statement. Dark Girls is not a film for white people. Dark Girls is a film for our people because I feel like this is our problem. I do not feel like this problem expands past our community.
Well, Bill, you better answer that before I do. But she pressed the button.
No, I'll answer it. Chang is anyway, I'll answer that question. The film is about colorism in our community. But in the audiences that we played to outside of this country and in this country, white people, particularly white women, are responding to the film because they believe it's about self-esteem also.
Okay.
And several women that are white females talked about how they related to the film based on their childhood and some of the things that they've been through. What we consider white, for example, is not considered white in the white community.
Exactly.
There are Jewish women who are darker than the average hue of Jewish women who relate to this film because in their own communities, they're considered dark girls. There's a Korean young lady in the film. When you see the film, how light she is, you'll say she's lighter than any light-skinned woman in the black community. She was walking with her mother in Korea in a plaza, and a woman came up to her and asked her if her father was black.
Wow.
So in other words, people from around the world are responding to the film, 125 countries, because colorism we experience as black people, but it's also experienced by Koreans, other Asians, Latin Americans, Africans, and European countries too. So it's a matter of self-esteem, and that's why we feel it's not. Yes, we just decided to do it dark-skinned women, but we found that the world is responding because self-esteem is an issue in all cultures.
You know what I like about that? It reminds me of a movie that I saw recently called Skin. I don't know if you guys seen that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but heard of it.
Yeah, it's about a young woman who was, both her parents were white, but you can obviously see that she had some African American traits in her, and it was a big problem. But not to digress on that, but I'm just curious, what I know you said you're eating dinner. It sounds like it's slamming whatever it is that you're having. I'm just curious.
I'm eating dinner.
That's Bill.
No, that's Bill.
No, that's not Bill.
No, Mr. Barry, Mr.
Chad Barry.
Yeah.
He before you got on the phone, he warned us that he was getting his grub on.
Yeah, it sounds like a slam, whatever it is.
What was your question?
Oh, but no. But I was going to ask you a question about Bill Duke. Can you just give us a little information about your website? I was looking at it earlier, and I think it's a really good website. There's a lot of things that I think would be good for you to put out on what you're doing in the community.
Well, we are. Well, thank you. We are trying to create projects that fill a gap that has not been filled in terms of media, in terms of projects that we think are relevant, and we think that may not get done in traditional ways. And Chan and I are doing the same thing. On my website, I have, and we're trying to raise funds for these projects, so anybody who wants to donate, don't be bashful, please. But the one called Black Diamonds, which is the evolution of blacks in baseball. And we think it started with Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige, but it goes back to the Civil War. And we want to really do a chronology of that history and the importance of blacks in baseball from a very early time. There's another film that we're working on called The Dick Gregory Story, and it's about the great comedian Dick Gregory, who was, the father of poignant, informative, political, social comedy before Richard Pryor or anybody else was on the scene. And Dick Gregory, to a certain extent, has gone overlooked because he's controversial, because he speaks his mind. And but we feel that Dick Gregory should be recognized, and that people should understand that he was one of the first ones to bring to our community an awareness of what we eat and the impact of food on the human body. He fasted. He was a vegetarian. He brought that awareness during the Civil Rights Movement. Dick Gregory went on fast because people were being beaten and lunch counters and bitten by dogs, and he brought an awareness through the sacrifice of fasting and encouraged others to fast and went to jail. So that's another person. So it's that kind of stuff that we want to create. And Chen and I are creating other projects too. We have another one called The Yellow Brick Road, which deals with light-skinned women and the issues they faced in our community. So there's a lot of stuff we're trying to do.
That's good. You're on BCast1Radio.com, live in the vocal booth.
Yes,
we are with Mr. D, Chaz, and Barry, and of course, Mr. Bill Duke. My one other quick question now: how did you guys meet? Like something of this is phenomenal, and actually I'm proud of this this film and this project you guys are doing. And once again, we're all anxious to see it. But how did you guys actually meet, you and Chad?
I first met Bill when I left New York. I moved to Oakland, California. And back in those days, in the 80s, Oakland used to have a black film festival. And Bill came up to the Paramount Theater in Oakland one day, and they were doing rehearsals, and he was standing on the side, leaning on the wall, watching rehearsals. And Barry White was sitting probably two chairs from him. And I talked to Barry, and I got up, let me introduce myself to Mr. Duke. And I wanted to introduce myself. I said, hey, Mr. Duke, I'm a filmmaker, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I told him about a project I was working on. He said, well, that's good. Gave me some encouragement, and I never saw him again until 10 years after that, until I moved to L.A. And we hooked up, and I asked him to do a documentary called The Black Line, Profile of the African-American Male. And after that, we just stayed in touch and decided to work together.
That's good stuff.
It's been like Martin and Lewis.
Wow.
Now, I have a question, kind of an insider question to filmmaking and getting it distributed. What is that pipeline like, getting that documentary out to the masses?
Well, it's almost non-existent. I mean, if you're making something that's humorous or laughing or buffoonery, it's much easier. But to get a film like this out to where it's supposed to be, you have to be multifaceted in your approach to distribution. There's no model. Waiting for Superman did very well, and films like that. If you're able to manage a feature distribution and then online distribution and TV and the rest of it. But you have to put the formula together. And what we're doing right now is that we're saying is that, okay, if Hollywood comes on, if a distributor comes on and wants to distribute the film, that'll be one aspect of our distribution. We're also examining other distribution models, whether there's church distribution or shipment circuit distribution. It makes no difference.
Okay.
We are determined to get it out there.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Berry, I have a question about when I was looking up some information about you, I saw that you were a producer over at BET. And I'm just curious, one of the things that said up there was ex-producer. Would you like to say what had you move away from doing work with BET?
What made me move away?
Yes.
You want the truth? Or you want
the truth on BKS4 Radio.
Yeah.
We want the truth, Barrow.
Yeah. But you know what, Bill? I just gotta say it. I'm gonna say it. I can't work with an entity that doesn't respect its own people.
Wow. You definitely get hand claps for that one. And if one of
you tell me before I sign a contract that you want to move ahead, you want to change the image, and you call me, and I'm with it in terms of changing the image, let's move us forward. And then when I get there, you want to tell me something different.
Wow.
So, do you see another, entity such as BET coming forth? I mean, Centric. It all kind of seems to be very similar.
Yeah.
Is there something coming that we don't know about that's going to be, something that we're looking for that's going to edify our culture, our community, in terms of
yes, there is. Yes, there is. You know what it's called?
What's that?
What you guys are doing.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. That is
we
one of
appreciate
the
that.
highest compliments.
I gotta sneak this into both of you guys, and it definitely, once again, I give kudos to you. And I'm just saying this hypothetically. Let's say right now I'm a moviegoer. I'm a avid moviegoer. Okay, and how can I tell what's a shucking and jiving? Let's be fair. We're talking real shucking and jiving movie from something that's real. Because you always get the argument, support black, support. But yet, there's a lot of it that is shucking and jiving, but it goes into helping to support a lot of actors and things of that nature. But say if I don't want to do that, but yet I want to go see a movie like The Help, because I thought The Help was excellent.
Okay.
And I thought that was a good movie. How do I go about making that separation?
Stop supporting bullshit.
I love it. That's what's up.
I really like his answers.
I love straight up answers.
Elaborate on that, Chan.
Chan, have you taken your meds? Wait, I dropped the pill on the floor. Hold on.
Elaborate on that a little bit, Chan, because that's definitely a fight that goes on amongst black consumers in music, in movies, and everything right now.
In this studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The deal is why you keep going with the lowest common denominator.
Well, I think that's the problem, Mr. Berry. We won't say names for certain movies. We won't disrespect anybody specifically, but
I know who you're talking about.
Of course you do.
Tyler Perry. What do you feel about Tyler Perry?
My problem with it is, and maybe you can say something that can get people to realize, if we stop going to certain things. And we just don't know the power of our own dollar. We just don't, and I don't understand why we won't figure it out.
Not to cut you off, is that it's not the point that you don't want to stop supporting Tyler. Tyler is what he's doing. There's an audience for that, and he's hiring a bunch of people that look like us for the first time, working and giving people experiences. He's the number one money maker, rich man in Hollywood sort of thing. Right. We need to support him, but the deal is this. There are many more people out here that can give a different story of the way we are as people in terms of drama, love, science fiction, and horror, and historical pieces.
Yes.
We're not supporting those people.
Exactly. Good point.
But
they're out here.
But the reason I don't completely agree with you is because we all know that filtering system is only going to let but 1 or 2 in at a time. And so if I keep supporting something that I don't believe in, then why would the gatekeepers ever get the message, oh, this ain't working?
Well, because it is working. So if you don't support it, that's your choice.
It's not working for me.
So don't support it. But for those that do, that is their choice.
But this is what happened when you don't support something like that. All right. First of all, if we keep supporting it, if we keep supporting it, they'll see the value in our dollar.
Yeah.
So, but if we stop supporting it, they'll be like, okay, well, the black movies and the black directors, whatever like that, they're not selling in the box office. You know, they're not making no money for us, whatever. So we're not even going to give no money to the next film or the next project they're trying to create.
But when do we ever get to a point where we say, I am so tired of seeing this that I'd rather see nothing? That's where I am.
Well,
we can't do that yet.
Well, you can say that if that's how you feel, but if other people don't feel that way, then that's not how they're going to act. What I say is we need to take that marketing and advertising and take a film that's coming out, Dark Girls and Black Diamonds, and make it attractive that people come out and know that this is something that they need to support. And if they want to go see that other thing, that's fine. But you need to come here too.
They're holding up the dark girl prophets up against a Tyler Perry. That's where they're holding it up and saying, oh, well, it didn't do as well as Medea's big black family or whatever it is.
Apples and oranges.
No, not to us. It's apples and oranges, but to the white man sitting behind the desk approving and letting these things go. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not apples and oranges to them.
Guess forgive us.
Oh, sorry.
See, I told you that's why.
You know what? I want to swing it back. I want to swing it back to the topic, to the Dark Girls documentary. I heard, I think either Bill or Chan say earlier that they're going to do a light skin documentary.
Bill talked about that.
Now, what's the contrast in the two? Like, what are you going to show more of the plight of the light skinned woman?
Bill, there? First of all, pain is pain. That's number one. And what in our film, a little bit of the light-skinned woman's plight is depicted in the sense that there are dark-skinned girls that say that they didn't even know they're light-skinned girls. They don't even know who they are, but because they were light-complected and had long hair, they used to catch them in the bathroom and throw Nair and meat in their hair to take their hair out.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and they don't know they don't even know the girl, but because they made assumptions about because she's light complected, that she thought she was better than them, they were going to teach her a lesson, and so they put balls of this stuff in her hair, and her hair fell out of her head.
Wow.
That's deep.
So this ignorance is not delegated to one complexion within our community. We really do some pretty cruel things to each other, and we examine why that's so. Because in this film we examine the issue from an historical, a media, and a healing point of view, quantum physics point of view. We don't tell the audience what to think. We just examine the problem, show them the issue, then they determine if there's anything to be done, what is to be done.
Interesting. Nice. And that's the sign of also a great movie. Exactly. When you have to, as me as a person that watches a movie, I look at the movie and I'm left to make my own assumptions of what I got out of the movie. And that definitely is a great thing there.
Now I want to ask with the documentary that you guys just done, how did you choose the actual females that are in the documentary? Like, how did you pick their stories?
What was the screening process?
Yes.
Good question.
Jan? Yeah. Well, a lot of them were friends, people that we knew, people we were introduced to. When people heard about the film, a lot of people volunteered to say, listen, I have a story I want to tell. And we said, okay. We'd interview them. There are a lot of interviews that we've had that are unfortunately not in the film. Because, we have, for a documentary, 75 minutes is quite a long time, so we had to really choose very carefully. But I'll tell you one story that we're talking about tonight that we were told that is imprinted on our minds forever. And we talked to this woman in Poughkeepsie, New York, where I come from, and she is approximately 35 and 40 years old, okay? And we asked her, what's the most painful thing about, this topic for you? And she says, well, I've always had not great self-esteem and continue to a certain extent. I'm growing out of it. But the most painful thing for me is I've never ridden in the passenger seat of a man's car.
Wow. What?
And so that was stunning. It was, what do you mean by that? So he says, well, when I've gone out with men since I was a little young lady to almost very, very recently, that when I was with a man, I go to his apartment, he'd come to mine, and we went out, I would drive him.
Wow.
But I've never had the privilege of riding in the passenger seat of a man's car.
That's sad. It's sick and it's sad.
Wow.
Sick and it's sad.
Mr. Duke, as a topic, and I just wondered if you've thought about it, have you thought about approaching domestic violence at all in documentary or film?
Well, that's going to be one of our, probably eventually one of our films. It's, as you know, we have many, many, many subjects we want to cover, but it's about our financing. And this film is financed 99.9% from our pockets.
Okay.
And our accountants are not very happy. But we believed in the project, so we did what we had to do to make it. And we continue to spend our own money. We're very fortunate to go up on a website. What was it called again, Chan?
Our website?
Donations? Donations?
Go to officialdarkgirlsmovie.com.
No, but not Indiegogo. It was called something else.
Oh, yes, Indiegogo. That's where we started. But
Indiegogo, we had a campaign, and a lot of people donated $1, $2, $4, $100. One lady $1,000 to give us whatever help that they could because they believed in the topic. So,
yes,
and we put all of their names in the credits of our movie because no donation was considered insignificant. So
that's big.
That's what's up.
That is,
that's support. That's support to the fullest.
You are listening to Live in the Vocal Booth on www.bks1radio.com, where we are so honored to be joined with Mr. Bill Duke and Mr. Chan Berry. And I just wanted to know, what other cities do you plan on premiering the documentary?
Well, like I said, tonight, we just finished Nashville to a packed, overflow audience, and we were elated about that. We jump up on the plane in the morning and we get to Chicago, my other love city, and we premiere in Chicago at the DeSambo Museum on Monday night, and then on Wednesday afternoon, we're at DePaul University in Chicago. And then we hit the road, and we're coming to Atlanta, to the Fox Theater, and to Oakland, to the Paramount Theater, and we're working out the rest of the tour. But we're talking about 17 cities in 3 countries.
Wow.
Interesting. Now, gentlemen, we had I think a caller is on. She's a light-skinned woman, and I think she wanted to speak about something.
We're not going to allow her to speak.
She's one of our chat room rebels, and she's good. But Nicole, are you there? Nicole?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you're on the
That's
line.
funny. Wow. Light skin, I can't speak. I've been catching hell since I was born. That's a damn shame. It's funny. I was really happy that the director spoke on the plight of light-skinned women because I literally have caught hell for being light. Amongst my sisters and brothers, I'm the lightest. I'm lighter than my mother. My dad is a very tall, very dark man. I remember as a child wanting to be dark. It took me a long time to be comfortable in my skin. And I can remember people making comments like, oh, she thinks she's better because she's light or whatever, but you don't even know me. You never even took the time to know me. I cut my hair because I wanted to look more ethnic. When I was younger, I used to do some modeling, some print work, and I had an agent tell me, "You don't look black enough."
Wow.
What did that mean?
Gentlemen, do you get that? And once again, you guys are in Hollywood, and you see
Hey
that
guys,
a lot.
you know what? Ask Nicole to privately give us a number so we can interview her.
Excellent.
We'll certainly
Not a
work that
problem.
out.
Yes.
I can get that to Miss Jamison for you.
In Hollywood, is that something that goes on a lot? Like, let's be fair about it. You guys are there. Have you seen women get told, no, this role ain't for you? Because, like, one thing I've always been amazed by, and I'm going to bring it up, we keeping it real. I remember when the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came out, and the first mother was there.
Right.
And then they
changed
went
it
to a lighter woman.
Yes.
D.L. Hughley, one of those other shows, they do that. How often
wait a
does they
minute.
do
My
that?
Wife and Kids.
My Wife and Kids, yeah.
Yes.
I often wonder about that. And is that a frequent true thing that happens in Hollywood?
Well, I could tell you when it comes to what happened at Fresh Prince, I don't know what happened with the Hughley show, but Fresh Prince, the original mother asked for more money.
Yeah, and they got her out of there.
And they was like, all right, bye. So,
But is that a problem in Hollywood, Bill and Chan? I mean, definitely.
I think that it depends on the month and the year, what the flavor is. We had an actor with us the other night when we had a screening in Los Angeles. And very well. What's the actor's name again, Chan?
Clifton Powell. Cliff Powell.
Yeah.
Cliff Powell, guys?
Yes, you know Clifton Powell?
Absolutely.
Very famous black. Yeah, great actor. Wonderful actor. He was in his society. Pardon me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was told by his manager or agent when there was a role he was up for, and they thought he got in the role because he did very well. He was told that that by the agent that they said that they didn't want anybody darker than Denzel.
Wow. That's crazy.
Wow.
There's a lot of different.
So see, it's total madness, right?
Yes,
it's total madness. But in our community, it's really mothers and fathers. If we do not, if mothers and fathers do not let their children know that God does not make mistakes, that where they were born, they're just as beautiful and perfect, and that no matter what anybody says on the schoolyard or a poster says, or a film or anything else says, that we have to keep telling them that they are fine. If we don't, then we fail.
I agree.
I have a question on that of what you said about just based on a little bit. As far as like beating, I don't know how to say this correctly, but I'm gonna just put it out there. As far as beating or making it safe, as far as the stereotypes. Let's just face it, there's a lot of stereotypes as far as, how black you are, how light you are. And with this documentary, I just want to know, is it supposed to beat the stereotype or let people, dark-skinned women, black women know, it doesn't matter if you're dark, you're light, you're beautiful anyway. The stereotypes with that's like, oh, you're too dark, so you're ugly, or you're light skin, so you're perfect, or you're brown skin, so just gonna be a title or whatever. What's the ideal for that?
The bottom line is self-esteem. That's the bottom line. Your sense of yourself and your sense of your self-worth and your value. It comes down to that. I mean, there are all kinds of people, women that come up to us of various colors and tell us that this film really enables them to understand their particular sense of their own self-esteem, and they sometimes allow media to determine their value. They allow men to determine their value. They allow family to determine their value as human beings. And what what when they talk to us, they're saying what they start to think about is where their worth of themselves have come from. Where have they gotten these determinations of their value from? And so it's best to black women, but I'm telling you, white women are saying the same thing. It is beauty is a standard that is set by business.
Yes, I agree.
And so therefore, your beauty is not how you're born. There is an image that is put forth. Sometimes it's anorexic, sometimes it's blonde, sometimes it's light, sometimes whatever it is. Now, we know, and I'm talking about from the point of view of the beauty business, we know that you're not that image, but we love you so much, we're going to sell you things that enable you to get there. They could be hair extensions, they could be skin lighteners, they could be makeup, they could be clothing, whatever it is. But as soon as you get 90% there, they say, oops, the standard has changed. But we love you so much, we got more things to sell you to get you there. If you have self-esteem, you're not going to go for the okie doke like that.
True.
Right.
Very true.
And that, I think, is definitely the key, because if you value yourself, you're going to have a standard and a preference in what you're willing to accept and how you want to live, and how you view yourself. And it's very clear to me, when a woman loves herself. You can see it. It's very evident, and then you also know when she does not.
Very true. Very true.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. I know it's late. I know it's been a long day for you. We appreciate you adding to our conversation. We definitely want the BKS1 radio listeners to be looking for dark girls. And before you leave us, you have to leave us a hot drop.
This is Bill Duke, and whether you're dark or light, keep it locked down at BKS1 Radio, the only place to be every day, every moment, all the time.
All right.
BKS.com. Join the movement.
BKS.
BKS. BKS1